All right, everyone, what we're going to talk about today is the importance of how to set up your LLC with your EIN and how to properly purchase the cryptocurrency that is going to be inside the LLC. Now, there's some tips and tricks we're going to show you, because if you don't do it properly, the veil can be pierced and someone can get access to the value of that crypto. We'll also talk about if you already have cryptocurrency and you want to place it under the protection of the LLC, how to do that properly. So let's start with you, Ted. Let's talk about opening the account, the LLC. What has to match between that and the account you start?
Mm-hmm. Right. So when you set up an LLC, you file the articles with the Secretary of State, and you get an EIN number from the IRS.
Yep.
So what you need to do is, with that EIN number that you get, you need to take that to the bank, whether it's Kraken or any other banks, and show them the EIN number.
Yep.
And in turn, you will have the bank account set up with that EIN.
Real quick, I got to jump in. You will get trouble with certain banks. So I'm going to give you an example. It's getting better. I started a Chase account 5 years ago to start an institutional trading account with Gemini and Coinbase. I went to my bank. They asked me what this is for. I said to invest in cryptocurrency. They abruptly said, no, you cannot. Now, it's funny because this was with JP Morgan. This is back when they were freaking out about it. And so I had to reword it for specific investments that are internet-based investments, including stocks, but not held only stocks. Anyway, that's what I put on the banking information. They let me get away with that. Then I took that EIN and I did what you're going to probably say next.
Mm-hmm.
And that's start that account, the trading account, right?
Yep.
Okay, why is it important that the EIN match the corporate docs, the trading account, and the bank account?
Right. So that's important because it shows that there's a separation between your business, which in this case would be to invest in cryptocurrency, and your personal assets.
Perfect.
And that's really important because if you're sued personally,
Yep.
you get into a car wreck or, any other lawsuit that
Yeah.
you personally could get into. If everything is over here in your business and you have documentation to prove it,
Yeah.
then it's much more difficult for that car wreck victim to reach the assets inside that LLC.
Especially if it's a dual member, right?
Yeah, well, and that depends by state.
Okay.
In states like Wyoming, they offer the charging order protection for single member LLCs.
Perfect.
So you're in good standing there. In other states where they don't have the charging order, it can be best to have a multi-member LLC.
Yep.
Just because there's an innocent partner in that business.
Exactly. Let me dive in real quick. So that innocent partner is a legal term that really shows that they would have to prove, the person that's suing you would have to prove that the reason why they can go after your cryptocurrency inside that LLC, everybody knew and was at fault in what happened, right? Is that the easy way of saying it?
Mm-hmm.
Like in layman's terms. Okay, so that's really important. So now we've figured out how to do that. Garrett, there's another situation where let's say you're like, hey, I got a lot of crypto. I got $500,000 in crypto. I need protection. How do I get that cryptocurrency now legally inside of my entity?
Well, and the way it works with crypto is you have to buy it in the name of the LLC
Yep.
for that account. And when you have it in your individual name, we don't want to sell it to put it into the LLC account. What we want to do is have a transfer document that says, I transfer X amount of Bitcoins into the name of the LLC. Yeah. And that's not going to be done on the blockchain or anything. This is just an independent transaction. Now, we want to be able to show that you did it on this exact date. So that transfer document needs to be notarized.
Yeah.
So when you go into court, the notary says, I watched the signature for this document. I approve that it happened on this date. So you want to have that transfer document be notarized by an independent notary. They're at the bank, they're at your law firm's office or whatever. And that would allow you the argument that you transferred title to those Bitcoin that were in your individual name into the name of the LLC.
Perfect. Now, first, I want to say that I highly suggest you have an attorney do this document. You don't do it yourself and go down to a mailbox, et cetera, and have it notarized. Secondly, I highly suggest you have an attorney do it that has some working knowledge and experience in blockchain technology. And this is why. One thing you're going to want is an address attached to that, a public address on that document. And the way I would suggest, and I'll have Garrett interrupt if I'm completely wrong, when you make that transfer, make it to a fresh address. That address is done on a specific date. That date can be noted along with the address. This was put into a new address, whether it be Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever ledger you're working on, and then that be notarized. Would that be the proper way?
Right.
Perfect. Now, have you ever done anything like that? That exact document? I know this is the right way to do it, but you guys have had some experience.
We've done a few of the transfer documents. Yes.
Perfect. And so not only do you set up, and what I like about you guys, I remember bringing this idea to you years ago, and we talked about this and how important it was because people like myself saw all of a sudden this instant wealth creation. I'm like, oh crap, I've got a real situation here. And we started working through this. And since then, you've opened a lot of LLCs for crypto holders.
Right. And that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
You want to take title, if you can, in the name of the LLC.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then when we're talking about, now we figured out how to start the account or what's important about keeping the EINs all the same. We've talked about putting, exterior Bitcoin inside. Now, what is some things that we need to be thinking about? Because when we're forming the documents, like you just put in your situation, brand new or Bitcoin you had personally into this, shouldn't that also reflect on the documents you do for annual minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. The minute should reflect that the LLC took in this Bitcoin or whatever currency pursuant to the transfer document.
Yeah, because in my opinion, that is a significant business event. And those need to be not only recorded, we're talking about two different documents. The document of transfer that would be notarized and showing all of the facts around that, but also in your annual minutes, acknowledging, hey, our company just took in a significant amount of money. And we want to note that because that paperwork trail that we're doing.
Right.
Thus giving stronger ownership to the corporation or the LLC.
And if there's ever a sale of these assets, you want to run the taxes through the LLC.
Yeah, why would you want to do that?
Well, I mean, if the LLCs flow through, it's not really a difference tax-wise.
Yeah.
But it's a way of showing further that your LLC owns these Bitcoins that you transferred in.
Yeah, perfect. Actually, you're giving me an idea for another lesson. So let's transfer over to that, okay? Let's see on the next lesson.